Hello there guys, it's Joey. So this is just a little crystal haul for some shinies. I'm a little bit behind again because if you're not on Facebook then you may not know. My partner brought sickness into the house, he got sick, and because I was recovering from tonsillitis I got double sick. So I had to take a few days where I was just resting basically. I got these beautiful crystals on Saturday and I actually took some of my Halloween budget and bought myself a few crystals because I got to the point where I was so fed up of the Halloween situation that it's actually getting worse, believe it or not. I say this every single year, but in previous years B&M has been pretty good. They've had the nasty stuff, and it's like the plastics tat and the outfits which are just horrible. But they've had some really quite pretty things in the past, and if you've seen some of my videos from last year, they had these signs and they were quite 3D signs, and I got some of those, and they had some nice glass pumpkin lanterns that I got last year. I actually gave a couple away on the store because I like them so much. This year they didn't have any of that in my B&M. They literally seemed to have what they didn't sell last year, and they were already replacing it all with Christmas stuff last week. And last week isn't even October, and I was like, ugh. I got to the point where I was considering writing a letter to B&M because I was like, that is pretty bad, and all the stuff's gone. So TK Maxx is almost out. So as much as the staff made fun of me for buying stuff super early, I'm glad I did. So I got pretty fed up with it last weekend, and I was like, right, I'm going to go to the market and get some crystals. So I did. And I love all of them. There's only 4, but they're all pretty special pieces. So the first piece is something that Lady Morgana's been on at me to get, which is a piece of Moldavite. She's been saying it for ages. And Moldavite is quite expensive. It's quite popular in crystal circles, New Age circles, pagan circles, because it has such an incredible energy to it. And I wanted to find a piece which spoke to me, because it costs quite a bit, and if you can find it for cheap it's probably fake. There's this big fake market going on. So basically a lot of people have had really incredible spiritual breakthroughs with Moldavite. I'm going to read to you the Robin Sibbons bit from the Book of Stones. Author's note, there's a side note in here, that Moldavite is the stone that initiated me into awareness and has the spiritual properties of crystals and minerals, as well as a personal spiritual destiny. It has, from my perspective, had a special role to play in the awakening of humanity. There are pages and pages and pages of stuff about Moldavite in this book. There is a Moldavite Grail meditation. There is a history of the Holy Grail connecting it to Moldavite. So I'm actually going to not go into all of that, or this video will be really long, and I'll read from the Niger Asian part instead. It is a cardinal storm element stone representing transformation, cleansing and change on all levels, and certainly lives up to that reputation. It is perhaps the most easily felt of all minerals. It carries an intense frequency that activates the chakra, stimulates the kundalini, cracks open one's psychic channels, and propels one into the future with the force of a hurricane. But don't let this scare you. Sometimes a cosmic boot in the butt is exactly what is required to dislodge psychic debris from one's life and kickstart one's spiritual development. Lays bare a limitation one has put on oneself and one's spiritual development, then it explodes those limitations. This ally tolerates no qualifying addendums to one statement that one is ready to move forward. Once you've invoked this ally's power, you must be ready to face whatever has held you back. You can go gracefully and willingly, or you can go kicking and screaming, but you will go. And as a guide once said to me, you asked for it. So I've got to the point where I finally found a piece of Moldavite that I was happy to purchase. It was between a price range which I was willing to pay and a size which I thought was fair. They're not cheap, Moldavite, but I really wanted to invest in one. As I said, Lady Morgana's been on at me for a while to get one, and I think I'm ready at that point where I'm ready for Moldavite to come in and show me the way forward. What's the next step? What's the next doorway? How do we get there? I'm ready for a bit more information. So there we go. So that's the first piece. The second piece was a new Labradorite, which I know people are groaning. However, I saw this and I was like, the flash on this thing? This wasn't expensive by Labradorite standards, because Labradorite is becoming quite popular now, and I'm going to take some of the blame for that. My ego says, you know, totally, that I'm taking some of the blame for this, because probably I personally buy enough Labradorite to like fuel the economy as is. But I've been starting to be a little bit more picky with my Labradorite, because I don't want to get burnt out on it, because I love it so much. But this piece is so full of light, and it's full of light on both sides. It's more of a golden flash, admittedly. I think it's all gold. Just having there's a tiny little blue flash right where my finger is, and that's about it. It's mostly gold, but it's this beautiful, it's almost bullet-like, it's almost like seed-like shape, and it was inexpensive. I was really, really pleased, and I don't know if you can see actually, new shiny nail varnish while we're at it. And it really spoke to me, this one. So if you don't know, Labradorite is often known as the Shaman Stone. It's known as the Temple of the Stars. It's very much a magical awakening. It's really good for protection of all kinds, because nothing negative can be used with its energy. It's a straight arrow kind of crystal. It's very much about opening your psychic awareness. It makes you very aware of the world around you. It's very much a flash of insight, and that's obvious from its physical manifestation, I guess. You know, you get flashes of the physical illuminating, and that has a psychological, symbolic effect on your psychic development. So I don't really need to read from the book for Labradorite, so you can have my interpretation instead. So there you go. Right. So the next one is Astrofillite. I hope I'm saying that right. I've wanted one of these for a while. You see these beautiful blue flashes? Yeah, and it's on both sides. Look at that. It's like a mystery within an enigma. It's just beautiful. I'm going to have to find the meanings, probably in the Bible. It's probably the safer bet. Yeah, it's not in the first one. Oh no, sorry, it's not in the second one. Let's check the first one. Oh, dum 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 dum. Just as point of reference. It's not in that one. How are you going to? You're not going to be in the Crystal Bibles. I'm going to have to stop the video. Wow, it's not in any of the Crystal Bibles. Oh, it's in the Book of Stones. Astrofillite 53. All right then. I didn't think it would be in the Book of Stones, but it is. Okay. Is for self-knowledge, realization of multidimensional self acceptance, forgiveness, infusion of oneself with light, and is another storm element. I think they might all be storm elements, I'm not sure about the last one. Is a great ally for navigating the twists and turns of travels beyond the body in the astral realm and the next several levels above it. Can help one achieve the state of lucidity wherein one can make choices and take purposeful action, even in the often chaotic domain of dreams. It is both a spur to expanding consciousness in the higher realms and an anchor which can assist in one's returning to home base, no matter the extent of one's wanderings. The famous words of the Oracle of Delphi, "Know thyself," might be the concentrated message of Astrofillite. It can reveal the hidden pattern of one's divine blueprint or life purpose, if one is willing to work with it and while in meditation. So there's a definite theme to the crystals. There usually is. So it's all that sort of... Astrofillite and Moldavite work together exceptionally well, especially in regard to activating one's highest purpose in life. Okay, I chose all these crystals on intuition like I always do, so that is wonderful. The acceleration they provide sometimes necessitates a rather intense burning of old karma, but for those who are ready, this is an intense and immense blessing. Wow. So there you go. I got those two without thinking about it. It looks like a galaxy. It's really, really beautiful. It was another one that I thought was really reasonably priced, which is one of the reasons I didn't mind paying a bit more for the Moldavite. So yeah. And then last but certainly not least is Erythrite. Erythrite, also known as Cobalt Bloom. This is a lovely piece. It's a little bit of the pink on the underside as well. So there. Strengthens the core energy at any level, be it the spine, the body, the light body. Psychologically offers confidence, surety and personal empowerment that arise out of an unshakable assurance of inner strength. Strengthens the physical heart and bonds of true love, uniting people with a loving compassion. So there's not a whole lot of information in the Crystal Bible. This is probably the grounding stone that's going to be like, well, you chose all the other crystals that for higher self and shifting and really, really bringing on your high life purpose. I'll look after you. I think it's this one. So I think that the rest of them will really have that really sort of get up and go type energy that I'm really ready for, and this one in particular is going to be the sort of the grounding, looking after kind of energy. So that's it. That's all the crystals I got. I wanted to be picky and choosy with them, and I love them. I love all of them. I think they were all extremely special finds. I did get one more, but it's not for me, so I won't be showing that one. So that's it for this little crystal haul. I hope you enjoyed. I apologise for being behind again. The sniffles are back, so apologies for that. But we'll try and get back up to speed today and tomorrow. Many blessings.